Do you ever feel like you don't fit into this world? As if you carry within you a divine spark that others cannot see or understand? You are not alone. You are part of a select group of souls chosen by God Himself for a transcendental mission. From the moment you opened your eyes in this world, you were marked. That feeling of being different, that restlessness in your heart, that wisdom that goes beyond your years. These are not coincidences. They are the signs of your divine election. Being chosen is not a privilege, it is a sacred responsibility. It means you have been endowed with a special sensitivity, a unique connection to the divine that allows you to see beyond appearances, to feel more deeply and to love more intensely. But it also means that you carry the weight of a greater purpose. This journey will not be easy. You will face doubts, misunderstanding, and even rejection. But remember, the toughest trials forge the strongest spirits. Every obstacle in your path is an opportunity to shine brighter, to prove why you were chosen. Stay to the end of this video and don't skip any part, because now is the time to wake up. To embrace your true identity. To understand that the difference you have always felt is your greatest strength. The world needs your light, your compassion, your unique vision. You are here to transform lives, to be a beacon in the darkness, to expand God's kingdom on earth. And though the road may be challenging, you are not alone. The same power that chose you guides, protects, and strengthens you every step of the way. Are you ready to accept your calling, to discover the incredible potential God has placed in you? This is just the beginning. Your true journey, your true purpose, begins now. Welcome, chosen soul. It's time to shine. Subscribe to stay tuned for more valuable content like this every week and turn on notifications. The feeling of being different since childhood, the divine spark that was always there. From your earliest memories, didn't you always feel different? As if you carried within you an ancient wisdom, an understanding that was beyond your years. That inner maturity was not a burden, it was a divine gift, a sign of your choice. Remember those moments on the playground, when your classmates lost themselves in simple games, and you found yourself contemplating the sky, wondering about the purpose of life. Or those nights when, while other children slept peacefully, you lay awake, feeling the weight of questions that seemed too big for your small body. That inner maturity was like a soft but steady flame, lighting your way even in the darkest moments of childhood. It allowed you to see beyond the small everyday concerns, to feel more deeply the pain and joy of those around you. But with this gift also came a challenge. How many times did you feel misunderstood when you tried to express your deepest thoughts? How many times did your parents or teachers look at you perplexed, not knowing how to answer your existential questions? This inner maturity was the first manifestation of your divine purpose. A constant reminder that you were destined for something greater, something beyond the conventional expectations of childhood. Feeling out of place among friends and family was not just an awkward phase of childhood, it was your first divine test. Every moment of loneliness, every instance when you felt like a stranger in your own home, was forging in you the strength necessary for your future mission. Remember those family gatherings where everyone laughed at jokes you didn't understand, or those birthday parties where you felt like a silent observer instead of a participant. Those moments were not punishments, they were preparation. You were learning to be comfortable in your uniqueness, to stand firm in your truth even when no one else seemed to understand it. This internal conflict was the crucible in which your spirit was forged. Every time you chose to be true to your true self, instead of conforming just to fit in, you were honoring your divine calling. You were learning the valuable lesson that being different is not a curse, but a blessing. And though it hurt, though at times you desperately longed to be normal, a part of you always knew that normal would never be enough. Because you were created to stand out, to be a light in the darkness, a beacon for others who, like you, feel different. Now, looking back, you can clearly see those early signs of your special nature. They were like pieces of a divine puzzle, waiting for you to mature enough to put them together and see the whole picture. Remember that inexplicable attraction to the spiritual, even from an early age? Maybe you were the kid who was always asking questions in Sunday school, looking for deeper answers than the ones you were offered. Or maybe you were the one who stood in awe at the beauty of a sunset, feeling a connection to something greater than yourself. Those extrasensory experiences you may have had, vivid dreams, presentiments, or a keen intuition that surprised adults, were not childish imaginings. They were the first whispers of the divine, trying to communicate with you. And then there was that supernatural empathy, that ability to feel the pain of others as if it were your own. Remember how you cried over the news on TV, or how you always seemed to know when a friend or family member needed comfort, even before they knew it themselves. These signs, these gifts, were the first manifestations of your divine purpose. Each one was a confirmation that you were different for a reason, that you were chosen for something extraordinary. Now, by acknowledging and accepting these experiences from your childhood, you are taking the first crucial step on your journey as a chosen soul. You are validating that inner voice that always told you that you were special, that you were destined for something more. It was no coincidence that you felt different. It wasn't a mistake that you didn't fit perfectly into the mold society had prepared for you. Every moment of doubt, every tear shed in solitude, every instance in which you felt misunderstood, was weaving the tapestry of your divine destiny. You are different because you were created to be different. That difference is your superpower, your gift to the world. It's time to let go of the shame or doubt you once felt about your uniqueness. It's time to fully embrace who you are and why you are here. Because those feelings of being different from childhood were but a prelude to the divine symphony that is yet to come in your life. You were and remain a chosen one, a being of light destined to shine in a world that often seems dark. Your journey is just beginning. Those childhood memories, those moments of feeling out of place, those first signs of your special nature, are only the first chapter of your sacred story. A story that will continue to unfold, revealing more and more of your divine purpose, as you move forward on your path as a chosen soul. You are ready now. Ready to fully embrace your truth, to step into your power, to be the beacon of light you were always meant to be. The world awaits you, chosen soul. It's time to shine. The first struggles and the path to acceptance, forging your spirit in the divine fire. Remember those years of youth, when the world seemed to close in around you. Those times when misunderstanding felt like an impenetrable wall, loneliness like a bottomless abyss, and anxiety like an endless storm inside you. You were not alone. Every chosen soul has walked through this valley of shadows. Misunderstanding came from all sides. Your parents, bewildered by your spiritual depth, were perhaps trying to normalize you. Your friends, unable to understand your worldview, perhaps labeled you as weird or too intense. Even adults who should have been your guides were often speechless in the face of your existential questions. Loneliness became your constant companion. In the midst of crowds, you felt like an outsider. At parties, you were the silent observer. At the family dinner table, you were the piece that didn't fit into the puzzle. This loneliness was not mere isolation, it was a spiritual wilderness that was preparing you for your mission. And then there was the anxiety, that overwhelming sense that something was fundamentally wrong with you. The pressure to conform, to be normal, constantly clashed with your divine nature. Every day was a battle between the real you and the mask the world expected you to wear. But here's the truth you need to hear, those struggles were not punishment. They were your initiation. Now, with the wisdom that only time and reflection can bring, you can see that each of those struggles had a sacred purpose. They were the chisels of the divine sculptor, molding your spirit for the greatness you were destined to achieve. Misunderstanding taught you to trust your inner voice, to stand firm in your truth even when no one else could see it. Every time you chose to be authentic in the face of pressure to conform, you were strengthening your connection to the divine. Loneliness was your harshest but most valuable teacher. In those moments of isolation, you learned to find companionship in your own essence, to commune with the divine in the silence of your heart. That solitude prepared you to be a beacon of light for others, for only those who have navigated the darkness can guide others to the light. And the anxiety, oh, that anxiety that seemed to consume you. It was the purifying fire that burned away your doubts, your fears, all that was not essential to your divine mission. It taught you to seek peace in the midst of chaos, to find your center even when the world seemed to crumble around you. Every tear shed, every sleepless night, every moment of existential doubt, was carving in you the compassion, resilience, and wisdom you would need to fulfill your divine purpose. In the darkest moments of your youth, when all seemed lost, do you remember that spark of hope that never fully faded? That gentle whisper that told you everything would be okay, that you had a greater purpose? That was your divine connection, the golden thread that kept you anchored to your true self. This connection manifested in subtle but powerful ways. Perhaps it was that moment of perfect peace while watching a sunset. Or that inexplicable synchronicity that gave you a sign just when you needed it most. Maybe it was that vivid dream that left you with a renewed sense of purpose upon awakening. In your moments of greatest despair, when the weight of being different seemed too much to bear, this divine connection was your lifeline. It reminded you that you were not alone, that you were part of something much bigger than your momentary struggles. This connection was and remains your life force, your direct line to the source of all that is. Even in the moments when you could not consciously feel it, it was there, sustaining you, guiding you, preparing you for the awakening that was to come. And so, little by little, through the struggles and challenges, you began to glimpse the truth of your nature. Those moments of clarity, those flashes of understanding, became more and more frequent. You began to see that your difference was not a curse, but a blessing. Acceptance came like a gradual dawn, first illuminating the darkest corners of your being. You began to embrace your sensitivity as a gift, not a weakness. Your keen intuition, which once made you feel out of place, you now recognized as a divine tool for navigating this world. You realized that those struggles of youth were not obstacles in your path, they were the path itself. Each challenge you faced was preparing you for your role as a light in this world, as a beacon for others who, like you, feel different. This road to acceptance was not an easy one, and you may still be walking it. But each step you take toward full acceptance of your divine nature is a step toward realizing your sacred purpose. Now, chosen soul, it is time to fully embrace who you are. Those struggles of your youth were not in vain. Every tear, every moment of doubt, every instance of feeling misunderstood, has been a stepping stone that has led you to this moment of awakening. You are a being of light, molded by the divine experiences you have lived. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Your intuition is your inner compass. Your ability to see beyond the superficial is a gift to this world that so badly needs depth and authenticity. The struggles are not over, for spiritual growth is an ongoing journey. But now you have the wisdom to see every challenge as an opportunity for growth, every moment of doubt as an invitation to deepen your faith. You are ready to take the next step in your divine journey. You are ready to be the lighthouse you were always meant to be. The world is waiting for your light, your wisdom, your unconditional love. Embrace your truth, chosen soul. Your time is now. Spiritual awakening, beginning to understand the purpose. Do you remember that moment? That precise instant when, in the midst of the confusion and chaos of your life, you felt a spark of understanding, a flash of clarity that illuminated your soul like lightning in the darkest night. That, dear chosen soul, was the first hint of your spiritual awakening. Perhaps it came in the form of a vivid dream that left you with a sense of purpose so intense it shook you to the core. Or maybe it was that moment of perfect synchronicity, when the universe seemed to align to show you an unmistakable sign of your path. For some, it may have been a chance encounter with a spiritual mentor, whose words resonated in your being with the force of a long-forgotten truth. These first hints of your divine mission and purpose did not come by chance. They were carefully orchestrated by the universe, by the divine force that has guided you from the beginning. Every sign, every intuition, every moment of sudden clarity, was a piece of the cosmic puzzle of your destiny. Remember how you felt in those moments. The mixture of excitement and fear, of certainty and doubt. That feeling of being on the brink of something big, something that surpassed you but at the same time completed you. Those feelings were the awakening of your true self, the being you were always meant to be. Now, let's take a closer look at that personal chaos that seemed to consume you. Those moments when your life seemed to be falling apart, when nothing made sense and the future looked dark and uncertain. Can you see now how that chaos was actually the crucible of your transformation? Chaos was not your enemy. It was your most powerful ally in this journey of spiritual awakening. Every crisis, every challenge, every moment of existential doubt, was systematically dismantling the false structures of your life. It was tearing down the walls that separated you from your true self, from your divine purpose. In the midst of that chaos, you were being reforged. Like the phoenix rising from its own ashes, you were emerging from the flames of adversity, stronger, wiser, more aligned with your true essence. Remember those moments when, in the midst of the whirlwind, you felt a strange calm. Those moments of crystal clarity in the midst of confusion. That was your divine essence emerging, your true self beginning to manifest. The chaos taught you to let go, to surrender to something bigger than you. It showed you that trying to control every aspect of your life was futile, and that in surrendering to the divine flow lay your true strength. And in the midst of it all, in the darkest and most challenging moments, did you feel that presence? That sense of not being alone, of being guided and protected even when everything seemed to be against you. That, chosen soul, was the presence of God manifesting in your life. This presence did not always manifest itself in grandiose or spectacular ways. Often, it was subtle, a sense of peace in the midst of chaos, a moment of perfect synchronicity, an intuition that guided you in the right direction. It was that inner whisper that told you to keep going when everything else was screaming at you to give up. In your moments of deepest doubt, when you questioned everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world, this presence was your anchor. It kept you connected to your deepest truth, to your divine essence. Remember those moments when you felt an inexplicable force surge within you, just when you thought you could not go any further. That force was the manifestation of the divine in you, reminding you of your true nature, your innate power. This divine presence was not there to eliminate your trials, but to guide you through them. Every challenge you faced with this presence by your side was molding you, preparing you for your greater purpose. As these elements, the hints of your mission, the transforming chaos, and the divine presence, began to intertwine in your life, you began to experience a profound awakening. As if a veil was lifted from your eyes, you began to see the world and yourself in a whole new way. You began to recognize patterns where before you saw only coincidences. You began to feel a deep connection with everything around you, a sense of oneness that transcended your previous understanding. Your intuition sharpened, and you began to trust more in that inner wisdom that had always been there. This awakening was not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. Each day brought new revelations, new understandings of your divine purpose. You began to see how all your past experiences, even the most painful ones, had brought you to this point. Your purpose began to reveal itself, not as a fixed destination, but as a constantly evolving path. You began to understand that your mission was not something you had to find outside of yourself, but something you had to manifest from within. Now, chosen soul, it is time to fully embrace this awakening. To recognize that every step of your journey, every struggle, every moment of confusion and clarity, has been part of your spiritual evolution. Your awakening is not the end of the journey, but the true beginning. It is the invitation to live consciously, to walk through the world with your eyes and heart open, recognizing the divine in yourself and all that surrounds you. Do not fear the challenges that may yet come. Remember that chaos is your ally in transformation, that the divine presence is always with you, and that every experience is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of your purpose. You are awakening to your true nature, to your innate power, to your connection to the divine. The world needs your light, your wisdom, your love. It is time to shine with all your splendor, to live fully aligned with your divine purpose. The universe has been preparing you for this moment. You are ready. You are awake. It is your time to transform not only your life, but the world around you. Go forth, chosen soul. Your awakening is the dawn of a new world. The inner transformation process, from chrysalis to spiritual butterfly. Imagine for a moment that you are a chrysalis. Inside you, all is chaos, a primordial soup of possibilities. Parts of you are dissolving, others are reforming. It's confusing, it's frightening, it's uncomfortable. But this chaos, this confusion, is the necessary prelude to your transformation into a magnificent spiritual butterfly. Such is the process of inner transformation you are undergoing, chosen soul. It is a journey from deepest confusion to crystalline clarity. It is a path that takes you from the darkness of doubt to the light of divine understanding. Remember those times when you felt completely lost, when the questions seemed to outweigh the answers, when each step seemed to take you deeper into a maze of uncertainty. That confusion was not a punishment, it was the beginning of your metamorphosis. Little by little, like the first rays of the sun penetrating the darkness of dawn, clarity began to emerge. Perhaps it was through a series of aha moments, those sudden revelations that illuminated your path. Or perhaps it was a more gradual process, like a slowly dissipating fog, revealing a landscape of understanding that was always there. This emerging clarity is not simply intellectual knowledge. It is a deep understanding that resonates in every fiber of your being. It is the sense of being aligned with your true self, with your divine purpose. It is the certainty that, despite the challenges that may come your way, you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do. In the great laboratory of the universe, God is the supreme alchemist, and you, chosen soul, are his masterpiece in progress. Observe how, with infinite skill and immeasurable love, the great alchemist takes the lead of your pain and transmutes it into the gold of inner peace. Each wound, each disappointment, each moment of anguish you have experienced has been carefully collected by divine hands. Nothing is wasted in this sacred process. Your tears become the water that nourishes your spiritual growth. Your scars transform into maps that guide others towards healing. To illustrate this process of transformation, allow me to share with you some testimonies from chosen souls who have walked this path before you. These are key moments of change, turning points in the spiritual journey that resonate with the universal truth of divine transformation. Maria, 35 years, I had hit rock bottom. My marriage had crumbled, I had lost my job, and I felt completely alone. One night, in the midst of my deepest despair, I felt a loving presence enveloping me. I can't explain it in words, but at that moment I knew everything would be okay. Not because my problems disappeared magically, but because I realized I was much stronger than I had ever imagined. That was the beginning of my spiritual rebirth. Juan, 42 years, I was always a skeptic. I only believed in what I could see and touch. But when my son was diagnosed with a terminal illness, my world collapsed. In my despair, I found myself praying for the first time in my life. And although my son did not miraculously heal, I experienced a peace and strength I had never known before. I learned that faith is not about facts you can prove, but about a connection you can feel. That experience completely transformed my view of life and death. Sarah, 28 years, I was an addict. I had tried to quit so many times, but I always relapsed. One night, after another relapse, I had a vivid dream. I saw myself, but radiant, happy, free from addictions. When I woke up, I knew that was my true self, the person I was meant to be. It wasn't easy, but that vision gave me the strength to seek help and stay on the path to recovery. Every day of sobriety is a testament to the transformative power of God in my life. Carlos, 50 years, I spent most of my life chasing material success. I had everything I thought I wanted: money, power, recognition. But I felt empty inside. One day, during a meditation retreat I attended almost by accident, I experienced a moment of absolute clarity. I saw how my entire life had been spent searching in the wrong places. That moment changed everything. I left my corporate job and now run a non-profit organization. I have never felt more fulfilled and at peace. These testimonies are just a glimpse of the countless ways divine transformation manifests in our lives. Each story is unique, but all share a common thread: the power of divine love to transform even the most difficult situations into opportunities for growth and peace. Now, chosen soul, it is your turn. Your transformation process is underway, whether you fully recognize it or not. Every challenge you face, every moment of confusion, every flash of clarity, is part of your spiritual metamorphosis. Do not fear the process. Embrace it with all your being. Trust that the same force that transforms a caterpillar into a butterfly is working within you, transforming you into the highest version of yourself. Remember, transformation is not a destination, it is a continuous journey. Each day is an opportunity to evolve, to align more fully with your divine purpose. Every experience, whether pleasurable or painful, is an invitation to grow, to expand your consciousness, to deepen your connection with the divine. You are on the threshold of something beautiful, something powerful, something transcendent. Your transformation is not just for you, it is a beacon of hope for all those around you. As you rise, you lift everyone around you. Go forth, brave soul. Your spiritual metamorphosis is the miracle the world has been waiting for. Remember those moments when the pain seemed unbearable, when you thought you would never feel peace again. And then, almost imperceptibly at first, you began to feel a change. The pain did not disappear magically, but its nature began to transform. It became a teacher, instead of a torturer. A catalyst for growth, instead of an obstacle. This inner peace that you now feel is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of a divine connection so deep that it can withstand any storm. It is the understanding that you are more than your circumstances, more than your emotions, more than your thoughts. You are a divine being, experiencing a human adventure. The peace that God has cultivated within you is your superpower. It is the eye of the hurricane, the place of stillness from which you can face any external chaos. It is the source of your strength, the wellspring of your compassion, the root of your wisdom. The wisdom that comes with inner peace, the glow of the soul. Imagine for a moment that your body is a canvas, and your spirit is the artist. With each brushstroke of inner peace, with each touch of divine serenity, the masterpiece that you are begins to take on a new and radiant form. This, dear chosen soul, is the miracle of transformation that occurs when wisdom and inner peace blossom within your being. Have you noticed how truly peaceful people seem to shine from within? It's not a trick of the light or a makeup effect. It's the authentic glow of a spirit that has found its home in divine stillness. As you cultivate your inner peace, you will begin to notice subtle yet profound changes in your physical appearance. Your eyes, those windows to the soul, will begin to radiate a clarity and depth that were once veiled by stress and anxiety. Your gaze will become softer, more compassionate, reflecting the wisdom you have gained on your spiritual journey. People will feel drawn to your gaze, finding in it a refuge from the storm of the outside world. Your facial features, once tense from worldly worries, will soften. The expression lines that once spoke of stress and concern will now tell a different story, one of understanding, acceptance, and deep peace. Your smile, your smile will become a beacon of pure joy, radiating the happiness that can only come from a genuine connection with the divine. Even your posture will change. As you let go of the weight of the world's expectations and embrace the lightness of being that comes with inner peace, you will notice your shoulders relax, your back straighten naturally. You will walk with a grace that speaks of serene confidence, not arrogance, but the assurance that comes from knowing who you truly are and why you are here. This physical change is not vanity, it is a visible testimony to the inner work you have done. It is the external manifestation of the harmony you have cultivated within. It is your physical being aligning with your spiritual being, creating a beautiful and powerful synergy. You have heard of the quest for the fountain of eternal youth, right? Seekers throughout history have traveled to the ends of the earth in search of magical waters that promise eternal youth. But you, chosen soul, have discovered the secret they overlooked. The true source of youth is not an external place, but a spring that wells up from within you. As you deepen your connection with the divine, you will experience a renewal that goes beyond the merely physical. It is a spiritual youth that manifests through your body and face but emanates from the depths of your being. You will notice a new vitality in your movements, a lightness in your steps. The chronic fatigue that may have plagued you in the past will begin to dissipate, replaced by a steady and sustainable energy. It is not the frenetic energy of caffeine or the temporary high of adrenaline, it is the enduring energy that comes from being aligned with your divine purpose. Your skin, the largest organ of your body, will also reflect this inner change. It will begin to have a healthy glow, a radiance that no cream or treatment can replicate. It is the glow of a spirit at peace, of a soul that has found its home. But beyond these physical changes, you will experience a youthfulness of spirit. Your curiosity for life will be renewed. You will see the world with fresh eyes, marveling at the beauty around you as if seeing it for the first time. Your capacity for wonder, for spontaneous joy, for unconditional love, will flourish. This spiritual youth is ageless. It does not matter if you are 20 or 90 years old, the spirit that has found inner peace radiates a vitality that transcends chronological time. It is the eternal youth of the soul that has remembered its divine nature. In the midst of the constant noise of the modern world, you have discovered the revolutionary power of silence. Not the empty and lifeless silence, but the rich and vibrant silence that is found in the presence of God. This silence is your secret superpower, the source of your wisdom and inner peace. When you immerse yourself in this sacred silence, something magical happens. The incessant chatter of the mind begins to quiet. The worries that seemed so urgent and important begin to dissolve. In this space of stillness, you begin to hear the gentle and soothing voice of the divine. It is in this silence that you find the answers to the deepest questions of your heart. They are not answers that come in words or images, but as a deep understanding that resonates in every fiber of your being. It is here that divine wisdom pours into your consciousness, illuminating your path and clarifying your purpose. In the stillness of God's presence, you experience a peace that surpasses all understanding. It is a peace that does not depend on external circumstances, a peace that remains unshakable even in the midst of the storm. This peace becomes your anchor, your refuge, your impregnable fortress. As you cultivate this practice of silence and stillness, you will notice profound changes in your being. Your ability to remain calm in stressful situations will increase. Your ability to truly listen to others, to be fully present in each moment, will deepen. Your intuition will sharpen, guiding you with a precision that once seemed impossible. This silence in the presence of God is not passivity. It is the active and vibrant silence from which all creation emerges. It is the silence from which your brightest ideas, your deepest acts of compassion, your most unconditional love arise. It is the silence that transforms you into a finely tuned instrument of the divine, capable of bringing harmony to a discordant world. Now, chosen soul, it is your moment to fully embrace this wisdom that arises from inner peace. To allow the glow of your transformed spirit to illuminate not only your being but the world around you. Cultivate those moments of silence and stillness. Make them a sacred ritual in your daily life. Allow God's presence to permeate you, renew you, transform you. Watch in awe and gratitude as this inner peace reflects in your physical being, rejuvenates your spirit, and lights your path. Remember, this wisdom, this peace, this spiritual youth, is not just for you. They are gifts you are meant to share with the world. Each serene smile you offer, each act of compassion that arises from your inner peace, each moment of full presence you share with others is a ray of divine light piercing through the darkness of the world. You are a beacon of divine wisdom, a living testament to the transformative power of inner peace. Your very presence is an invitation for others to awaken to their own inner divinity. Go forth, radiant soul. The world is waiting for your light. The radiance of the new identity in God. There comes a moment in the life of every chosen one when the fog of confusion and doubt begins to dissipate. After a long journey through deserts of loneliness, rejection, and questioning, they finally arrive at a place where the waters of truth run clear. It is here, in this sacred space, where the chosen begin to see themselves as God sees them. Imagine for a moment that you have a divine mirror before you. It is not an ordinary mirror. It does not reflect the imperfections that your mind has created, nor the expectations that the world has imposed upon you. This mirror, dear chosen one, reveals the pure essence of your soul, the beauty and power that God sees in you. Through its eyes, there are no blemishes, no faults, there is only light, an eternal glow that has been there since the beginning of time. Begin to ask yourself, what would your life be like if you could see yourself through God's eyes every day? What would you do if you knew, with certainty, that you are unconditionally loved and that you have a unique divine purpose? This is the transforming power of accepting your true identity in God. When the chosen begin to see their true reflection, something profound changes within them. They no longer seek external validation. They no longer need to fit into the molds that society or family have imposed upon them. Instead, a new confidence is born, not from arrogance, but from the certainty that they are walking in their divine purpose. It is a confidence that does not fade with criticism nor inflate with praise, because it is rooted in the immutable truth of God. This confidence brings with it a fresh and liberating authenticity. The chosen no longer fear showing themselves as they are. They embrace their uniqueness, knowing that their essence has been intentionally designed by the Creator. Do you realize what this means? It means that every word you speak, every action you take, can be a pure reflection of who you truly are, without masks, without fear of judgment. It is an authenticity that radiates a quiet strength, a magnetism that draws others toward the light you carry within. But this radiance cannot arise without a crucial step, acceptance. Before you can fully walk in your divine identity, you must accept both your strengths and your weaknesses. You must look at yourself through the eyes of God's unconditional love, which accepts you as you are, but also calls you to grow and transform. Accepting yourself is not resigning to who you are now, but embracing the truth that you are in a continuous process of growth. It is knowing that, although you may have flaws, those very flaws are opportunities for divine grace to work in you. Accepting yourself means stopping the fight against yourself and, instead, aligning with God's vision for your life. Dear soul, there is immense power in acceptance. When you finally stop struggling against yourself and embrace who you are in God, you find a peace that surpasses all understanding. That peace, that self-acceptance, is what will allow you to walk with your head held high, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. This is your moment to accept your new identity in God and let your light shine brighter than ever. If this message has resonated with you, I invite you to share it. Share this truth with those who are also on their spiritual journey. Let your light inspire others to see their true identity in God. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel to continue receiving messages that will strengthen your spirit and help you walk in your divine purpose. Together, we can be beacons of light in this world. The change in energy and outer presence. When a chosen person begins to grow internally, not only does their spiritual life transform, but so does their energy and the way they present themselves to the world. It is as if, suddenly, an invisible yet powerful light begins to radiate from within them, illuminating those around them. This is the essence of spiritual magnetism, a special gift that only the chosen possess, which cannot be imitated or manufactured by external means. Have you ever been near someone whose mere presence makes you feel calmer, more at peace? That is the power of spiritual magnetism. It requires no words or grand gestures. It is a vibration that emanates from those who have found their center in God, a vibration that resonates with the divine and, like a beacon, attracts souls who seek the same. As you cultivate your relationship with God and allow your spiritual growth to flourish, you will begin to notice that your energy changes. People will feel drawn to you in unexpected ways. Some will seek your counsel, feeling that within you lies a wisdom that does not belong to this world. Others will simply want to be in your presence, not knowing exactly why, but sensing that there is something in you that calms them and gives them hope. This magnetism is not arrogance but a reflection of God's light shining through you. Your being, both physical and spiritual, becomes a channel of peace, love, and healing for others. Every step you take, every word you speak, is imbued with this sacred energy that touches the lives of those around you. But this change in your energy not only affects how others perceive you, it also deeply impacts your relationships. Superficial connections, those based on materialism or worldly expectations, may begin to fade. Not because you choose to cut them off, but because your energy, now aligned with the divine, no longer vibrates at the same level as before. The relationships that remain, however, will be transformed. Those who are destined to walk with you on this spiritual journey will feel more connected than ever. Conversations will be deeper, more authentic. Shared moments will be filled with meaning and purpose. These relationships will become sacred spaces where both can grow, support each other, and lift one another to new spiritual heights. It is important, chosen soul, that you embrace these changes in your relationships without fear. God is guiding each of your connections, ensuring that only those who are part of your divine purpose remain by your side. Trust that the inner growth you are experiencing is purifying not only your being but also your bonds with others. As your energy transforms and your spiritual magnetism grows stronger, you will notice that the reactions of those around you can be quite varied. Some will be drawn to your light like moths to a flame, longing to be part of the peace and wisdom you emanate. You will feel how they seek your company and how your words and actions inspire them to seek a greater connection with God. But not everyone will react the same way. There will be those who feel uncomfortable in your presence. Your new energy, filled with light and authenticity, may awaken insecurities, fears, or even rejection in them. It is not that your light is negative, but that by illuminating what is hidden in the hearts of others, it can generate natural resistance. Those who are still struggling with their internal shadows may not be ready for the clarity and transparency you radiate. It is essential that, as a chosen one, you do not take these reactions personally. Remember that your presence is meant to be a mirror, reflecting both the divine and what still needs healing in others. Your task is not to force change in those around you, but to continue shining with God's light, allowing those who are ready to approach that light of their own accord. Dear chosen soul, it is time to fully embrace this new spiritual magnetism that resides in you. Allow your energy to speak louder than your words, and let your presence be a living testimony to the transforming power of God. Accept that not everyone will understand or appreciate this change, but move forward with the confidence that you are being guided by the divine in every step. Make every interaction, every conversation, and every moment an opportunity to radiate this new energy. As you do so, you will see how not only your life changes but also the lives of those around you. Allow your complete being, your energy, your actions, and your presence, to be a channel of love, healing, and light for the world. If you feel that this message has resonated with your spirit, don't forget to leave a comment sharing your experience. Subscribe and join this community of chosen souls, and together let's continue illuminating the path toward the divine. The challenge of being brilliant in a dark world. As you grow on your path as a chosen soul, you will experience an inevitable phenomenon. The more you shine, the more clearly the darkness around you will be perceived. Living with authenticity, purpose, and a deep connection to the divine can elicit two types of reactions in others: inspiration or resistance. In some, your light will awaken admiration and a desire to change, but in others, it will reveal fears and insecurities that may manifest as envy, rejection, or even aggression. Envy is a shadow that hides in hearts not aligned with divine purpose, and when the chosen ones shine with the truth of God, that shadow becomes evident. Those who have not yet found their own purpose may see you as a threat, a constant comparison to what they have not achieved or to what they fear they may never reach. Your spiritual success, your peace, and your growth serve as a reminder of what they have avoided facing, and instead of seeking their own light, some will choose to resist or try to extinguish yours. It is important to understand that this type of resistance is not personal. The battle you face is not against people, but against the darkness that still reigns in some hearts. In Ephesians 6 verse 12, Scripture reminds us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age. The envy and resistance you may experience are simply reflections of the spiritual battles being fought around you, and your light is a catalyst for change. As you grow on your path as a chosen soul, you will experience an inevitable phenomenon. The more you shine, the more clearly the darkness around you will be perceived. Living with authenticity, purpose, and a deep connection to the divine can elicit two types of reactions in others: inspiration or resistance. In some, your light will awaken admiration and a desire to change, but in others, it will reveal fears and insecurities that may manifest as envy, rejection, or even aggression. Envy is a shadow that hides in hearts not aligned with divine purpose, and when the chosen ones shine with the truth of God, that shadow becomes evident. Those who have not yet found their own purpose may see you as a threat, a constant comparison to what they have not achieved or to what they fear they may never reach. Your spiritual success, your peace, and your growth serve as a reminder of what they have avoided facing, and instead of seeking their own light, some will choose to resist or try to extinguish yours. It is important to understand that this type of resistance is not personal. The battle you face is not against people, but against the darkness that still reigns in some hearts. In Ephesians 6 verse 12, Scripture reminds us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age." The envy and resistance you may experience are simply reflections of the spiritual battles being fought around you, and your light is a catalyst for change. It is not easy to be brilliant in a world that often prefers the shadow. There will be times when external resistance will be felt, whether through criticism, rejection, or even direct attacks. It is in those moments that your inner strength will be put to the test. But remember, the source of your strength does not come from yourself, but from God. And God never abandons those He has chosen. To maintain your light in the face of opposition, you need to constantly nourish your spirit. Prayer, meditation on the Word, and being in communion with other chosen ones will be your greatest tools. In times of greatest resistance, remember that your purpose is greater than any challenge you may face. Scripture assures us in Isaiah 40 verse 31, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Just as a lit candle does not fear the darkness, you must trust that the light within you is enough to overcome any shadow that tries to dim it. When the world tries to distract you with noise and chaos, return to your center, to the place where God has planted you. There, in the stillness of your spirit, you will find the peace and strength needed to move forward. Dear chosen soul, this world needs your light more than ever. In days of greatest opposition, remember that every battle you face is forming within you a stronger spiritual resilience, a resilience that will allow you not just to survive, but to thrive amid any challenge. Keep your eyes fixed on what is eternal, not on what is temporary. Those who resist you today may be the ones seeking your guidance tomorrow. And at all times, never forget that you are not alone on this journey. God has chosen you, equipped you, and is with you every step of the way. In the end, light always prevails over darkness, and you, as a chosen one, are a living testimony of that truth. If this message has resonated with you, share it with others who need to hear these words. Leave a comment below and tell us how you have overcome the challenges of being a light amid darkness. Remember, together we are stronger, and our united light can transform this world. The divine confirmation, knowing you are chosen. Every chosen soul goes through moments where, in a clear and undeniable way, God confirms His purpose in their lives. These moments of revelation do not always come with grand or visible signs, but often arrive in the stillness, in the unexpected, like a whisper to the heart that fills it with peace and certainty. These divine confirmations are fundamental because they remind you that you are not walking alone. God has placed His hand upon you and has called you by name. Perhaps you have felt a profound sense of purpose after overcoming a difficult trial, or you have experienced a moment of clarity amid confusion, where everything that was once uncertain now aligns with a greater sense. These moments, sometimes subtle, sometimes overwhelming, are reminders that God is guiding you and confirming that you are part of His plan. In the Bible, we see multiple examples of these divine revelations. For example, the young Samuel heard God's call in the middle of the night, and although he did not recognize it at first, he eventually understood that it was the Lord calling him. 1 Samuel 3 verses 4 to 10. In the same way, there are moments when God's voice reveals itself to you, perhaps in a dream, a conversation, or simply a feeling of certainty that floods your being. And it is in those moments that you know, without a doubt, that you have been chosen. In a world full of noise and distractions, hearing the inner voice of God can be one of the greatest challenges for the chosen ones. However, that voice is never absent. God speaks to you constantly, through your intuition, your thoughts, and the signs around you. But to perceive it clearly, you must learn to silence the outer chaos and pay attention to your inner self. Jesus taught us about the importance of stillness in spiritual life. In Matthew 6 verse 6, he said, "But you, when you pray, go into your room, and when you have shut your door, pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly." This instruction is a reminder that true connection with God occurs in moments of intimacy and silence, when you set yourself apart from the world and allow yourself to be in His presence. As a chosen one, your ability to discern God's voice strengthens with practice. It is not something that happens instantaneously or automatically. It requires a continuous relationship with the Creator. Sometimes, God's voice may manifest as an inexplicable peace that you feel in your heart regarding a decision. Other times, it is a thought that arises repeatedly, guiding you toward a new path or warning you about something you should avoid. The key is to trust. God does not always communicate in a direct manner, but His presence is in every detail of your life. Learn to be attentive to those whispers, to those impressions in your heart. When something feels aligned with your purpose and with divine will, you will know it because your spirit will feel at peace. That is the most powerful confirmation you can receive. Often, the chosen ones receive divine confirmations in situations that, at first glance, seem mundane or everyday. However, it is precisely in these ordinary moments where the extraordinary of God is revealed. These testimonies of divine experiences are fundamental because they show how God works in all areas of our lives, even in the smallest details. One of the most common testimonies is receiving a word or sign at just the right moment. Perhaps you have been struggling with an important decision, and suddenly, you hear a song, a word from someone close, or read a Bible verse that seems to speak directly to your situation. It is not a coincidence. God uses multiple ways to speak to you, and when your heart is open and aligned, you will recognize those messages as confirmations of His presence in your life. Another powerful testimony is the feeling of being protected or guided in difficult circumstances. You may have experienced a moment when everything seemed to be against you, but somehow, you emerged unscathed, strengthened, and with a deeper understanding of your purpose. This is not simply luck or coincidence. It is the hand of God, confirming that, as a chosen one, He is always by your side, guiding you and protecting you. A biblical example of this type of experience is found in the book of Acts, when Paul is protected from multiple threats while preaching the gospel, Acts 23 verse 11. In the midst of challenges, he received a vision in which the Lord told him, "Take courage." That simple phrase was enough to remind him that he was not alone and that God was fulfilling His plan through him. The testimonies of divine experiences are beacons of hope for others who are still in their own process of discernment. When you share how God has confirmed His presence in your life, you inspire others to seek His voice in their own lives. And more importantly, you remind them that the same God who has chosen and guided you is also with them. Knowing you are chosen is not just a fleeting feeling or a moment of spiritual euphoria. It is a deep certainty that manifests throughout your life, through moments of revelation, the constant listening to the inner voice of God, and the divine experiences that transform your daily walk. As a chosen one, it is essential that you remain attentive to those confirmations, for in them lies the strength and comfort to move forward, even in the most challenging moments. If you have experienced any of these moments of revelation, do not hesitate to share your testimony. In doing so, you not only affirm your own faith, but you also strengthen others on their journey. Remember, God always confirms His purpose for those He has called. And you, dear chosen one, are part of that divine plan. The continuous evolution, the journey doesn't end here. Being chosen is not a final destination but a commitment to an ongoing spiritual journey. From the moment someone becomes aware of their divine calling, a process of transformation begins that never ceases. This constant growth is the result of a living relationship with God, in which the chosen are in a perpetual state of learning, development, and renewal. As a chosen one deepens their spiritual path, they discover that there are always new levels of wisdom and understanding to attain. The relationship with God is not static, it is like a moving river, always flowing and bringing new currents of revelation and discernment. In this journey, the chosen ones uncover areas of their lives that need healing, aspects of their character that must be refined, and purposes that must be revealed through the various stages of life. The Apostle Paul perfectly expressed this in Philippians 1 verse 6, "I am convinced of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." God is continuously working in the hearts of His chosen, transforming them from glory to glory. What you experience today is only a fraction of what you will be in the future. Every step you take, every challenge you overcome, is part of an endless spiritual growth. The key here is to understand that there is no moment where you can say, "I have arrived." Every victory, every breakthrough, prepares you for the next level. Throughout life, you will continue discovering more about your identity as a chosen one and deepening in the divine purpose that God has for you. What may seem like a reached goal is simply a stepping stone toward greater spiritual maturity and a new level of relationship with God. Spiritual evolution does not happen automatically. It is the result of a conscious choice to stay aligned with God's purpose. As the chosen grow, the temptation to shift focus toward earthly goals or superficial distractions may arise. However, staying aligned with God's will is essential to continuing on that growth journey. Staying in tune with the divine purpose means living in obedience, walking in faith, and trusting in the guidance of the Holy Spirit. In Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 we are told, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will make your path straight." This implies an act of daily humility and surrender, where you acknowledge that you cannot always see the bigger picture, but trust that God is working for your good. As you evolve, God will reveal more of His plan for you. What was once a blurry vision of your purpose may become clearer over time. But this is only possible if you choose to remain in His presence, listening to His voice and following His direction, even when the path is neither easy nor immediate. The distractions of the world may try to lead you astray, but your calling as a chosen one is to walk in alignment with the divine will, being a light for others and a channel of blessing. Aligning with God's purpose also allows you to see your life from a higher perspective. Instead of focusing on temporary goals, you realize that your life is part of a much greater divine plan. Every decision, every action becomes an opportunity to glorify God and fulfill the mission He has placed in your heart. One of the greatest changes that a chosen one experiences in their continuous evolution is the way they perceive trials and difficulties. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle is now seen as an opportunity to grow and strengthen faith. Trials are not punishments or coincidences but divine tools that God uses to polish and refine His chosen ones. Jesus Himself warned us that we would face difficulties in the world, but He also gave us a promise in John 16 verse 33, "In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." This means that while trials are inevitable, they are not the end of the story. In fact, they are an integral part of the process of perfection that God is working in your life. Trials are seen as opportunities because they allow you to develop inner strength, patience, and unwavering faith. James 1 verses 2 to 4 puts it this way, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. It is in these moments of difficulty that God is preparing you to be even stronger and more capable of fulfilling the purpose He has assigned to you. Every challenge overcome brings you closer to the version of yourself that God has designed. Difficulties forge character, teach you valuable lessons, and deepen your dependence on God. It is through trials that your faith is strengthened, allowing you to move forward with greater determination and clarity in your calling. In fact, some of the most significant moments of spiritual growth occur during the darkest times when everything seems against you, but you choose to trust in God's sovereignty. The chosen do not shy away from challenges. On the contrary, they see them as opportunities to demonstrate their faith and advance to the next level of their spiritual evolution. God does not allow trials you cannot overcome, and every battle you face is designed to lead you to greater victory. The spiritual evolution of a chosen one is an endless process. Every day brings new opportunities to learn, grow, and align more closely with the divine purpose. It's not about reaching a final goal, but about being in a constant state of transformation, where God shapes your life for His glory. Staying aligned with God's purpose and viewing trials as opportunities are two fundamental principles on this journey. No matter how many obstacles you face, there is always a new lesson to learn, a new level of faith to reach, and a greater relationship with God waiting to be discovered. As a chosen one, your mission is not only to grow for yourself but also to be a light for others, showing the way to those who are still seeking their purpose. Always remember that the journey doesn't end here. God has called you to something much greater than you can imagine, and your continuous evolution is a vital part of that divine plan.